Welcome back, everyone. We're going further into the Fellowship of the Ring today, and we're going to talk a little bit about Saruman and Gandalf, as well as some pieces of wisdom from Elrond and Gandalf. So without further ado, let's get started. So I'm at the part where Saruman is talking to Gandalf, and he's trying to convince him for the last time to switch to his side, which is Sauron's side as well. He says, "And listen, Gandalf, my old friend and helper," he said, coming near and speaking out in a softer voice. "I said we, for we it may be, if you will join me. A new power is rising. Against it, the old allies and policies will not avail us at all. There is no help. There is no hope left in elves or dying Numenor. This is one choice before you, before us. We may join with the power. It would be wise, Gandalf. There is hope that way. Its victory is at hand, and there will be rich reward for those that aided it. As the power grows, its proved friends will also grow, and the wise, such as you and I, may with patience come at last to direct its courses to control it. We can bide our time, and we can keep our thoughts in our hearts, deploring maybe evils done by the way, but approving the high and ultimate purpose. Knowledge, rule, order, all the things that we have so far striven in vain to accomplish, hindered rather than helped by our weak or idle friends. There would not be any real change in our designs, only in our means." "Saruman," I said, "I have heard speeches of this kind before, but only in the mouth of emissaries set from Mordor to deceive the ignorant. I cannot think that you have brought me so far only to weary my ears." He looked at me sidelong and paused while considering. "Well, I see that this wise counsel does not commend itself to you," he said. "Not yet? Not if some better way can be contrived." He came and laid his long hand on my arm. "And why not, Gandalf?" he whispered. "Why not the ruling ring? If we could command that, then the power would pass to us. That is in the truth why I brought you here. For I have many eyes in my service, and I believe that you know where this precious thing now lies." And so we can see by this exchange that Saruman is convinced that, or trying to convince Gandalf at least, maybe he doesn't truly think this way, but he's trying to convince Gandalf by tantalizing him with this, well, it'll be for the good. We'll do it for a good purpose. And I think that every evil action starts somewhere. Evil people aren't born overnight, and it always starts with some sort of seed of, well, it's okay to do this wrong thing if I do it for the better. And obviously it all comes down to morality, but it's just an example of how if one's not careful to control their thoughts and their desires, you can easily come to this decision. Everyone that makes a horrible decision, it all starts from a thought somewhere, someplace that happened, that instead of shutting it down, they continue to feed that thought until it became the big monster that Saruman ends up becoming in the end. Later, Gandalf demonstrates why, even if it were used for a good purpose, it wouldn't ever actually work out in that way. He says, Elrond. This is Elrond talking about this. He said, "Alas, no," said Elrond. "We cannot use the ruling ring. That we now know too well. It belongs to Sauron and was made by him alone and is altogether evil. Its strength, Boromir, is too great for anyone to wield at will, save only those who have already a great power of their own. But for them, it holds an even deadlier peril. The very desire of it corrupts the heart. Consider Saruman. If any of the wise should with this ring overthrow the Lord of Mordor, using his own arts, he would then set himself on Sauron's throne, and yet another Dark Lord would appear. And that is another reason why the ring should be destroyed. As long as it is in the world, it will be a danger even to the wise. For nothing is evil in the beginning. Even Sauron was not so. I fear to take the ring to hide it. I will not take the ring to wield it. Nor I," said Gandalf. And then I just wanted to read a couple more words of wisdom from Gandalf and Elrond, because these are some beautiful words of wisdom that I think can apply to any situation in life. And I love to hear these sorts of things. So here we go. What strength have we for the finding of the fire in which it was made? That is the path of despair. Of folly, I would say, if the long wisdom of Elrond did not forbid me. Despair or folly, said Gandalf. It is not despair, for despair is only for those who see the end beyond all doubt. We do not. And so it's just a good reminder that no matter how dark things look, no human on earth right now knows how everything will end, how any bad situation will end. People can't see into the future. We don't know. And so it's just a bright note that even with how bad things may look, we ultimately don't know what will happen in the end. And if we continue to fight for the good, then the hope is that it will end in despair, but it truly will end with a bright future. And as I mentioned in previous videos, I don't think that the end is dark. I think in the very end, when the world ends, there's an eternity waiting that is greater than anything that a human mind can even begin to imagine or perceive. And then right after that, Elrond says something very wise and beautiful as well. At least for a while, said Elrond, the road must be trod, but it will be very hard, and neither strength nor wisdom will carry us far upon it. This quest may be attempted by the weak with as much hope as the strong. Yet such is oft the course of deeds that move the wheels of the world. Small hands do them because they must, while the eyes of the great are elsewhere. And then along the same vein of those who are maybe not the greatest in power or strength, Elrond leaves Frodo with one final word. Elrond raised his eyes and looked at him, and Frodo felt his heart pierced by the sudden keenness of the glance. If I understand aright all that I have heard, he said, I think that this task is appointed for you, Frodo, and that if you do not find a way, no one will. This is the hour of the Shire folk, when they arise from their quiet fields to shake the towers and councils of the great. Who of all the wise could have foreseen it? Or if they are wise, why should they expect to know it until the hour has struck? And yeah, it's just a really beautiful passage of hope, and it motivates one that maybe by the world standards doesn't have what it takes to accomplish something great, but you don't have to be great to accomplish something great or great in the world's eyes. Anyone can do it as long as they set their mind to it. One more thing I wanted to mention, again, it's been a while since I've read this book, so I forgot this point, but the 9 black riders that were chasing the hobbits in the beginning, there are 9 of them, and there are also 9 of the Fellowship. And I've always known that there was 9 of the Fellowship, but it's just kind of cool to see that comparison. He mentions that at one point in the book, that the 9 of the Fellowship will kind of be a match for the 9 riders, 9 against 9. And so I just thought that was interesting. But anyways, we'll continue reading this book and going over some of the finer points of it. And yeah, if there's anything that you want me to discuss when it comes to anything that I talk about on this channel, please leave a comment below. Thank you so much for watching.